Scott, it's been a good start to the spring season for the Whitworth men's golf team. The Pirates coming off of a victory on over the weekend at the Puget Sound Invitational that included a amazing highlight of a hole-in-one. We'll ask you to talk about that, but it has to feel good to be able to get out to such a quick start for this team.
It is, and with a successful fall season and our veteran team, the spring season's been much anticipated. So having the opportunity to go compete, and we hadn't been to the west side of Washington in a couple years for tournaments, which is unusual, so it was kind of fun to be over there. And it's a challenging course that our program's played a lot of golf on, but these specific guys haven't played much golf on, and the fact that we've had limited amount of time outside on courses, with the winter conditions that we've had here on the east side of the state, it was just really good to just tee it up in general and have the opportunity to compete, and then to have not played our best on the first round, and then to regroup that second day and shoot some great scores it's really pleasing to see that the work that the guys have been putting in the off season has been put to use, and to come away with a victory is fantastic. And as you mentioned, one of our guys had a hole-in-one, which is always exciting. It's a lifetime feat, really. It was Matthew Durkin, who first had his hole-in-one when he was 10 years old. Now he's 20, so almost 10 years later to have a hole-in-one, especially in a college tournament, is really special. So beyond the outcome, that was just something special that rallied the troops, and was really exciting for everybody.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to talk about how something like that impacts an entire team, even when not everyone is able to see it.
Sure.
You still hear it, and you still hear about it, and how that can influence how the rest of the group is going.
Sure, and it absolutely does. I mean, he let out a big yell and fell to the ground in amazement. And it was a dramatic shot, too, because it landed behind the pin and then spun back into it. So it almost happens like in slow motion when you see that. And the perspective of it rolling backwards is easier to see it going in than when it's rolling at it. So it was clearly went in the cup, and a couple of the guys on our team were in surrounding groups, so they saw it happen. And then the word just spreads like wildfire across the course. I'd say more than anything, for the person that makes a hole-in-one is to coming down off that excitement to regroup and hit the ball again. And ironically, Caleb Belton, who is our assistant coach, is the last Whitworth golfer to have a hole-in-one in a tournament. And he made a hole-in-one, and ironically it was during COVID time, so we were playing with our 5 guys in one group. So it was a really special moment. In that particular case, the guys went to the next tee box, and everyone was so frazzled. This time, Caleb used that experience and a coaching role to calm Matthew down a little bit, because your just adrenaline gets going. And then, of course, across the board, it was a really cold, wet, rainy morning, and a couple guys weren't playing great. And as the word spread that they heard that one of their buddies made a hole-in-one, I think, if anything, just kind of took their mind off of the slow start they were having and refocused them a little bit, and the guys played great after that.
You're going to have an opportunity to keep the momentum going this weekend down in Oregon at the Willamette Valley Cup. A little bit different field than what you played up in Washington. Talk about who you're going to be playing and the impact that this tournament could have.
Yeah. So there's a couple NAIA schools that are in the event and a junior college team that are all successful teams, so that adds another element. And then, our closest competition in terms of standings in the Northwest Conference will all be there. So it'll be a great opportunity to see everybody, how their winters went. There's always a chance of a little turnover, of an addition of a good player, or maybe a player transferred or is ineligible or some reason. So it's always good to see who's kind of on their active roster. And then also, it's a course that we've had the Northwest Conference Championships and one of our classic tournaments on, where it's been league matches, which we've had a lot of success recently at this particular course, the home of Willamette, who's just a fantastic program. So it's a course we know well. It's the competition that we need to be at our best against when it comes to April. So this will be a really good test to just kind of see where we're at. And I know the guys are really embracing, the opportunity to go compete in this really strong field.